Former U.S. Acting Attorney General and Senior Fellow at the American Cornerstone Institute, Matthew Whitaker. Attorney General, good morning. It's great to have you back.
Good morning. Good to be with you guys.
All right. Now, AG Garland says he supports Special Counsel Jack Smith's call for a speedy trial. Last month, the Supreme Court rejected Smith's request for the expedited trial. But let me just ask you this on the law. He said that it's in the public interest to have a speedy trial. I thought it was the defendant's right. It was the defendant to protect them from a government dragging it out for a long period of time where they might not make bail or whatever. But isn't it supposed to be about the defendant's rights, not so much societal rights?
Yeah, Michael. And in fact, the speedy trial is a constitutional right of the defendant and can be waived. And in this case, obviously, the president has waived it. I think it's concerning how desperate the Biden administration is through the Department of Justice to try to get this to go to trial before the election and to try to interfere, quite frankly, with this year's election. What's in the people's interest, what's in the best interest of the public, is to have the American people decide who wins in November of 24 and not have him banned from the ballot, not have him convicted by a jury in Washington, D.C. that is 95% Democrat. Merrick Garland, I think, it's concerning to me that he is no longer wearing the white hat and trying to do justice. He is trying to, interfere in this election. It's a sad state of affairs.
Very quick follow-up there, General. In all my years in government, I never saw the prosecutors, the government, so pushing for a speedy trial. Usually the more time they have to prepare their case, the better. It's usually the defendant that's pushing things along. Am I wrong here? I mean, in your experience, don't you usually see that?
Well, you're absolutely right. And if they were so concerned about the speed of this case, they could have brought it, sometime earlier in the last 3 years. The suggestion that he said, we brought this case last year. We're in January, for goodness sakes. Everything happened last year. I mean, this is, this is the con job that really, quite frankly, the Department of Justice is doing to the American people currently.
Now, former President Trump is awaiting a ruling on his immunity appeal as well. He released a rather long Truth Social post about it. This is what he said in part, quote, "A president of the United States must have full immunity, without which it would be impossible for him/her to properly function. All presidents must have complete and total presidential immunity, or the authority and decisiveness of a president of the United States will be stripped and gone forever." Attorney General, do you think the court will accept this as an argument?
Yeah, this case is going to be really interesting. Right now it's in the D.C. Circuit. Ultimately, they'll ask for en banc, and then if it turns out really against either party, they'll appeal it to the Supreme Court. Their presidential immunity is real, and it does exist for official acts. And I think it's going to be, whether or not this, behavior that's alleged in the indictment is covered by presidential immunity. The other interesting thing, though, is President Trump is absolutely right. I mean, a president can't function and make decisions that a president has to make if the next administration is going to prosecute them.
Right. And Attorney General, I just want to be very clear for the audience here, because, the other side will make it sound like, well, if he goes home and he beats his wife and what, he shouldn't be immune from that. No one is saying that he is. It's, when I was an FBI agent, if there was an allegation you did something wrong, the DOJ looked and said, were you within the scope of your employment at the time of the act? If you were not within that scope, then you don't have immunity, obviously. And that's what I think the confusion here is, that the Democrats would like to conflate the issue by bringing up these ridiculous personal offenses and saying, well, why would he have immunity from that? It's only for official acts. Are we correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And that's, I think, what we're trying to find out. And the case law, quite frankly, is favorable to Donald Trump right now.